Hello and welcome to episode number 121 of the She Must Knit podcast. My name is Erin and thank you so much for spending some of your time with me today. Oh my goodness guys, it has been a little while, hasn't it? I didn't even intend for such a large amount of time to go between episodes. When I looked at my notes, the last time I recorded was right before my birthday, and I think at first it was just I didn't have the time to knit, and so I just didn't have the things to show you, so it kind of got pushed a little bit. And then it seemed like every time I wanted to sit down and record, something would happen, and I would lose that window, because really the only time that I can sit down and do this is when Kira is down for a nap, and she currently has one nap a day. It has stretched out a little longer, which is very nice, but like if she has one nap a day and I have other, I have things that I need to get done and like eat and stuff like that, sometimes things get pushed aside that I can't fit into that nap. So I would always sit down, I was like, okay, today might be a good day, I'll try and sit down and record, and then, other stuff would happen and it just wouldn't fit in, and that just kept happening and happening and happening. Finally today, I was like, okay, I think we should be able to do it today, especially now that school started. I'll talk about maybe that a little bit later. But yeah, I just decided that today we were going to make it work. I felt like if I didn't sit down and record sometime soon, it was just going to keep getting pushed and pushed and pushed. So here we are. We're into almost halfway into September. How did that happen? Where did the summer go? Oh my goodness. And yeah, I'm going to catch you up on what I've been working on. Now, I think I would also like to do, just a little catch up, let you know what's been going on with the kiddos and stuff like that, but I'm going to save that till the end, so those who like to just get right into the knitting, we can just do that, and then we can have a little chat later about, how summer went and stuff like that. So the last time, like I said, I sat down and talked to you, it was right around my birthday, so it would have been in July, and I would have been working on my July Desert Vista dyework socks. So obviously I have finished those. I am still in the competition, and if you follow me on Instagram you would have seen them, but I did finish my July Desert Vista dyework socks. So here they are in all their bright, happy gloriousness. This colorway is glow in the dark mini putt. It's the one that I submitted. I submitted a photo into the group on Ravelry, and it was picked, so I won this skein of yarn. And so that's part of the reason why I decided to knit these up as my birthday month pair of socks. So these are for me. I was able to make them, matchy-matchy, as you can see. I really like how they turned out. We are getting into sock wearing season. So let me know if you are someone who, once the warm weather hits, you are in sandals and you're just basically in sandals until your toes start to freeze off again. That's how I go through the summer. Once it warms up enough, I start, maybe June-ish, I'll put my sandals on, and then I keep wearing them right until it is just too cold to wear them. So I haven't been wearing my hand knit socks 4 months, and we are getting into that weather where very soon I should be able to pull these out, and so this is going to be a really, really fun pair to wear. I made these in my usual way, 81 stitch cast on. I always do a 2x1 rib. I think I did 10 stripes for the leg. I did my usual little increase heel over here, and then I do 60 rows down the foot until I do the toe. So when I'm knitting for myself or people, I try and figure out how many rows I do for the foot, because my tension, especially with the Desert Vista dyework socks, my tension is fairly consistent. I use a 2mm needle. I know I don't always mention that, so if you are a newer viewer, I use 2mm needles, so I like a nice tight fabric, which is one of the reasons why I also cast on a few more stitches than might be typical. So for myself, I start with 81 and decrease down to about 70, and then for other people I usually start with less stitches, which we will see in a moment. So I don't think I have anything else to add about those, and then next I will show you my August pair. So I do believe I finished my July pair on the last day, but it wasn't a late finish. If I remember, it was maybe right around dinner or just before, just after dinner, but I wasn't up till super late. And then my August pair I decided to make as a gift pair. I cast on for a pair of socks for my mother-in-law. I am really hoping that we are going to be able to go and visit Dennis's family for maybe Thanksgiving. If things stay, you know, relatively okay here, we still do have some restrictions, but they're not like hardcore lockdown restrictions. So maybe for Thanksgiving we'll be able to go see his mom. But I'm also hoping that maybe we can see them for Christmas. Who knows? But I will at least be able to see them for Thanksgiving, fingers crossed. And so I decided I wanted to get a pair done for her. So these are my August pair. And again, I was able to get the stripes to match up, so they are matchy-matchy. I have done this a lot in the past, so if you're a long-time viewer, you'll know that I would often rewind my skein for the second sock so that the stripes would be going in the opposite direction. I've been finding lately that because I'm usually starting that second sock later into the month, if I don't have the extra time to sit and rewind the skein, I will just, you know, find that color that it started with and just make them matching, which is fine too. I like doing both ways. But yeah, this is the color Mandrill, I think. And yeah, I picked this one out for Dennis's mom. She often wears like softer colors and stuff, so I thought this might be a good pair for her. And also I think when I ordered it, I really liked the inspiration picture and I liked the colors, but I don't think, other than the gray, I don't wear a lot of pinks in my wardrobe, so this was a skein that I could easily kind of make for someone else. So like I mentioned just a minute ago with changing up my cast on numbers, because these are for someone else with a smaller, both a smaller foot size and a smaller leg size, I did cast on 74 stitches for these, and then I did my usual 2x1, and then I did, you know, 10 rows down the leg, you know, my usual increase for the heel. And then I think for her feet, I did 50 rows before adding in my little standard toe. So these were done as well, and I think I also finished those on the last day of the month, but it was a pretty early finish. I think when I went into the last day, I only had maybe, you know, 5 rows and then the toe to do or something. It was very, very minimal, so it was not difficult to get those done. So those are my only 2 finished objects. I really haven't been able to finish a lot, although the other projects that I've kind of been working on are larger projects which are harder to finish. So before I show you the progress that I made on some of the things that I have going, let's go right into, we're just going to stay on the DVD train and I will show you how I am doing for September. So I think when it came to picking my September skein, I had a look at everybody I've knit for and you know, to kind of gauge if I still needed to do any gift socks. And I don't think I do. I think I have knit for everybody that I usually knit for. Now, sometimes in the past I've knit a pair of socks for Avery's teacher for Christmas. I could maybe still do that. We'll see. She has started school again. I will talk more about that later on. She seems to really like her teacher. So I'm going to keep that, kind of put a pin in that. That might happen. But otherwise, I've made all my brother's socks, I've made my mom's socks, I've made my friend Rebecca's socks, I've made, you know, Dennis's mom's socks. I don't think there's anybody else on the list right now. So I decided to make the September pair for myself. And I picked out this color right here. I thought this was just really fun. I don't have a huge stash of Desert Vista dye works, but I do have enough to choose from, and I have enough to kind of, I usually have enough to finish off the year and then to kind of go into the next year if I want to continue doing the competition. And this is one of them that kind of stood out to me that I thought would be a really nice color for September. It's still kind of bright and fun, but it's not, you know, like crazy bright and fun like my July pair. So this is what I ended up going with, and this is Asphalt Jungle. And yeah, I started on maybe the 2nd or 3rd day of September, and I think I'm making pretty good progress. So this is what I have so far, and you can see I've got my little matching Lily and Fox nail wraps. I thought this would pick up, it actually picks up this stripe color here perfectly, and then this darker color. I think the design is called, what was it? Fuchsia Lace, if this is something that you like the looks of. But yeah, this is how I'm matching for this month. And if these wear off, and I don't decide to reapply them, I think I have another print that will also match this stripe sequence. But I'm really liking how this is working up. I do think it is kind of a nice bridge from the brighter summer colors with these stripes here, and then you're getting into these darker purples and like the charcoal stripe to kind of get into the fall. So I actually think this worked out to be a really nice choice, and I'm liking how it's knitting up. So we are almost at the halfway point of the month, and if you watch regularly, then you know by the halfway point of the month I like to have my first sock done. It's the 13th today, so we've got 2 more days, and I have about 1 more increase to do for the heel section there before I can start turning the heel and working on my decreases. I could probably get through that over the course of a day, so maybe by tonight or by tomorrow at the latest I should have the heel done, and then I'll be on the foot. And I can do the foot in a day if I really want to, but realistically it's probably going to take me 1 or 2 days. So depending on how things go, I could have this first sock done maybe by the 16th, which isn't too bad, because I think there's been some months where I have finished the first sock well into the 20s of the month, and then I have just a much shorter time period to get that second sock done. So even if I finish this one on, the 16th, 17th even, I'd be okay with that. So we are doing well with our September sock so far. I'm feeling good about the competition. I don't doubt that I'll be able to finish off in terms of finishing the socks. Now, the other way I participate is on Instagram, and if you're not aware, there's a prize involved with how many posts. So there's little prizes that Susan will do connected to the amount of posts that you do with the hashtag for the competition. And usually I aim to get enough posts that I can also get another free skein at the end of the year. And I am sorely behind on that part of the challenge. I think you have to do 100 posts over the course of the year, and usually I can make that without too much difficulty. But this year I've just not been on social media a whole bunch. So I don't know if I'm going to make that goal this year, but I do think I'll finish the competition. But I might not be able to get that 100 post thing on Instagram. So those are my September socks. Let me know how you're doing on your September socks if you are participating. And let's go into my other works in progress. So I have made a bit of progress on another pair of socks that I think I shared a while ago. It might not have been in the last episode, but maybe in the episode before that. I am working on a pair of Regia Perfect socks for Dennis. I'm hoping to get these done for Christmas. That shouldn't be a problem. I think with where I am, I should be able to do that. And I'd also like to squeeze out another pair of socks, because if you remember with my Crafty bingo card, there is a square on there for making a patterned pair of socks, which I'd still really like to do. And I know I'm not going to cast those on until these are done, so we need to get these done. But the last time I showed these to you, I was right here with the marker. So I had finished the leg and I had started the increases for the heel. Well, I've gotten through the heel, I've got through the foot, I've got the first sock done. And then I was able to cast on the second sock, and something is running. Oh, it's just a little chipmunk. I am right in front of a window here, and I have a bird feeder that hangs just on our awning there. And so there's always a lot of activity, and the corner of my eye just caught something darting across our porch, and it was just our little chipmunk that, always scavenges around for birdseed. So I have got the cuff done, I've got the leg done for the second sock. I think I'm almost at the point where, oops, I just realized that I think I need to go back a little bit. I thought I didn't start my heel increases until I got to the other brown color. But if you look here, I started my increases right with this kind of purpley brown stripe, and I'm knitting into the purpley brown stripe right now, and I did not start my increases. So I'm kind of glad that we sat down and had this little chat, because I think if I was just, picking them up, I was going to keep knitting until that dark brown, and then I would have been a lot more upset about ripping back 20 some rows than just the 5. I think I only have to go back about 6 rows there. So okay, we're gonna put those aside. I'm not going to touch them. I'm going to have to rip back those rows so that I can start the increases. So yeah, on the second sock, I am on the part where I can start increasing for the heel. And I do remember with this yarn, the Regia is just a little bit thicker than what, you know, is typical for like what I'm used to with the Desert Vista Dye Works. So when I do get a good chunk of time to work on those socks, they do go fairly quickly. So I think I'm going to really try and push and get this second sock done by the end of the month, because then again, that's a Christmas present for Dennis. Is anybody else thinking about Christmas presents already? I've already started making a list, especially for Avery and Kira. I mean, Kira's pretty easy because she still has no concept about Christmas, but I don't like to leave things to the last minute, because then it just gets very overwhelming. So I've already started trying to figure out what to maybe get for Avery. I just ordered something on Amazon the other day to stash away. Yeah, school has started. We are in Christmas season, holiday prep mode. Whether we want to admit it or not, it is here. So this will be a gift for Dennis that I can put aside in the little cubby, and then not have to worry about it. So we are really going to try and get those done by the end of the month. I actually have another pair of socks that, did I start them before? I must have started them before Kira was born. And they've just been sitting upstairs. I would love to get those done because I think I'm on the second sock. And then, like I said, I really want to do that patterned pair of socks that is on my bingo card. It's debatable whether all of that is going to happen, but we are going to do our best. So I think those are all the socks progress, finished socks, everything about socks that I have to share with you. I only have one other project that I've been working on, and it is covered in socks right now. So I am going to grab that, and you can see how I've been doing on my little Trestle Tee. So here is my high Trestle Tee. Before I show it to you, I'll just pop the picture in the corner there of what the original pattern looks like. But I have been able to put a little bit of work on this. Now, I think I had said in the last episode that I was hoping to finish this by the end of August. Obviously, that didn't happen. Is it going to happen for the end of September? I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be something that I end up putting aside. I really don't want to do that though, because another square on my card is to finish an adult garment, and this would check that off. But there's other things I want to cast on. We might have to talk about that after I'm done showing you this, but there's other things I want to cast on, you know, for this time of year. And I just don't know if this is going to, you know, take up too much time, but I might have to try it on and just see where I am in terms of the length. That might be enough motivation to keep me going. So this is the little top there. It's got the little lattice detail. I think the last time I showed it to you, I had finished putting one of the skeins in, and I had gotten down to this point here, and I had told you how every time I finish a ball, I was going to rotate back between the front and the back, because I ended up doing this slit here. So there's going to be, the front and back are going to be separated, they're going to be open. So I've kind of said that I was going to, you know, put a ball into the front and then put a ball into the back and go back and forth, and hopefully that would help just keep things going in terms of the length of the sweater, because I can get very bored when I'm just working on the body of a sweater. But luckily with this design, the sleeves are already done, so I don't have to worry about that. And then, yeah, where this marker is here is where I would have been on the opposite side. So I was about at this length the last time I showed it to you, and I have been able to put in a full skein of yarn. So that's how much I got done on this. Now what I need to do is go back to the other side and add another skein of yarn there. So this is where we're looking in terms of overall length. I don't think I have too many. Like, obviously I have to make the other side match that length, but then maybe, you know, 4 more balls, 2 on each side. Like I said, I think if I try this on and just see where it is, that might help me figure out, you know, how many more balls I need to put into it. I do want it to be tunic length to wear with my leggings, so it does need to be a little bit longer. But yeah, like I really want to get this done. I really like the pattern. I really like the color. Even though this is a short sleeve design, I do think this could still be a really pretty color to wear in the fall. So if I can get it done by the end of September, I might still be able to actually enjoy it this year before having to put it aside. Although, you know what? Over the winter, I'm inside most days anyway, so I could probably still wear this throughout the winter too. But yeah, we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see if I can finish that. I need to put, if I didn't have to worry about my Desert Vista dyework socks, I don't think it would be a problem, because I could see putting a couple of days worth of, you know, good chunks of knitting into it. But I just don't want to risk getting that behind on my socks and then not being able to finish those in a month. So I don't know what we're going to do. Maybe we'll have to start implementing where, you know, throughout the day I work on the Desert Vista dyework socks, and then in the evenings after I put Kira to bed, I can work on the sweater. That might help. We're going to have to see. Let me know if you're working on any garments right now and what's keeping you motivated, because I know garments can be something that just you kind of get stuck on and it just seems like they take forever. I think those are all the projects that I've been working on. So like I mentioned, there's certain things I really want to get done because there's other things that are kind of looming that I want to work on or want to cast on, and I don't want to cast them on if I don't want to have 50,000 projects on the go. So I really need to decide what can get done, etc. I need to cast on Kira's Lightbox sweater. If you remember that little ziggy zaggy sweater that I made for Avery with the gray and the hot pink, I wanted to make a matching one in like a lilac for Kira. I really want to cast that on. I also really want to work on my granny stripe blanket. One of the goals on my card was to finish that off this year. I have not touched it. I have not touched that blanket all year. It's been sitting, it's right there, staring at me every day. And I know I don't have, I think I decided whatever yarn, whatever minis, whatever leftovers were in that basket, once I put those into the blanket, I was going to consider that big enough, because it's almost there. It's almost big enough to be, you know, a full-on kind of cuddly couch blanket. I originally was going to put it on the bed. I don't know if I'm going to do that anymore, but if I add what's in the basket, it will be big enough to be a blanket, but I have not sat down to do that at all this year. So I also want to do that, but that's something that's going to take up a big chunk. Like for me to work on it, that's going to take up a big chunk of time. And then there was something else I wanted to cast on too. I'm going to have to look at my bingo card to see what's still on there that I think I can do. I know there's a square to make something for Avery. And I might end up making her a new winter set, maybe her and Kira a new winter set for the, you know, upcoming winter, but I'm going to have to reevaluate. But anyway, I've got projects I want to do, I've got things I want to cast on, and then I've got things that need to be finished that just are taking longer than I want them to. Let me know if you can relate to that, because yeah, and time, you know, how much time? It's all about time, right? I just don't have as much time during the day. So I think that is all the knitting really that I had to talk to you about. Maybe we can do a little catch up now, since it's been basically 2 months since I talked to you last. Oh my goodness, I still can't believe that all that time went by. I hope you had a really good summer, if you know it's summer where you are. We didn't get to do a whole bunch. Our days were mainly going to the parks every day because we had to get back for, you know, Kira's still napping and stuff like that. So it's not like we could just go out all day and, you know, do stuff. It was like, you know, morning thing, come back, nap, and then usually once she woke up, it was time to, you know, get dinner and get all that stuff going. So Avery was able to go to Wonderland a few times with Dad. I think last year they had a pass, but then obviously got canceled. So this year they had to just book their days because they were limiting the amount of people in the park. But then they also get a pass for next year. So this year was just kind of like a bonus, and they were able to go a few days. Avery has a friend in the neighborhood who also goes to Wonderland, so they were able to go on the same day once, and she had a lot of fun with that. School has started. If your kids are in school, they've started again. I think everywhere school will have started by now, because I know some places they start in August, other places they start in September. We start in September. Let me know, are you doing homeschool again, or are they in class? Let me know what's going on with that. Again, we've decided to send Avery back into school. She's in person, but I would not be surprised if, like last year, you know, a certain amount of time passes, and if cases rise, they might have to be home again. So I just wanted her to get as much time in school as possible. We are very lucky that our area still remains fairly low. Our vaccination rate is fairly high, so I felt comfortable doing that. Let me know how things are going where you are. But yeah, she was really, really nervous going back to school, as I think a lot of kids are or were. And it was just getting through that first day. I had to keep telling her, you know, a lot of what you're nervous about is just not knowing how things are going to go. And once you get there, you know, everything else will be fine. The next day and the next day and the next day will be fine. So she's been at school. She was there last week for about 3 days, and then today again. So I think she's gotten into a groove. She's met her teacher. It's a new teacher to the school. She seems to like her. She's got friends in her class, which are nice. Yeah, so she's having fun with that so far. And then the other thing I forgot to mention was in August we went on a little road trip, and we went to visit my dad, who lives about 3 hours away. So that was the first time that since Kira's been born that we've had to pack everything up and go stay somewhere for a couple days. And you know, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff. Dennis was getting on my case about like packing for a month when we were only gone for a few days. And I told him it's all Kira's stuff. It's all Kira's stuff, because if it was just us, we each have just like, you know, our little bag. But Kira needed her bed, she needed, you know, the chair, she needed babies. They need so much stuff. But we managed, we got there, we had a good couple of days. We went to the beach. There's a beach near where my dad lives, and it was Kira's first time at the beach, and she loved it. And then we also, what else did we do? I think Avery, one day, there was one day it was kind of cold and kind of not very nice outdoor weather. She ended up going to like this jungle gym play, like rock climbing, swinging, like, you know, indoor activity type place, and she had a lot of fun with that. So it was a nice couple of days. It was nice to go up and visit. We have not seen his house. He bought a house last year. We had not seen it, so that was nice. And yeah, that was pretty much our summer. So like I said, nothing exciting. Now I do have, we also went to like this little animal rescue thing. So I was going to say, if I can put at the end, I'm going to try and put some clips. I know I have a clip of Kira at the animal rescue. So there's a place there that specializes in, like, their main, they sell supplies for like reptiles and fish and stuff like that. But then they also specialize in exotic rescues. So if, you know, people have pets that they're not supposed to have and they have to surrender them, blah blah blah, they go to this place. And so you can go there and pay admission and see the animals and get, you know, educated about them and stuff. So we decided to do that. And one of the little exhibits had little marmosets in them, and the enclosure was just the right height that Kira could stand and watch the marmosets. And there was one marmoset that kept coming down to, you know, check her out. So I think I have a little video of that I can put at the end here. And then I know Dennis took some videos while we were visiting, but they're on his, you know, his phone, his cloud thing. So if I can get them from him, I might also attach those at the end, but if not, it might just be Kira looking at marmosets. And then, yeah, I think that is going to be it for this episode. Again, let me know how things have been going. You know, I want to catch up with you too, and hopefully it won't be too long before I can sit down and do another episode. I'm hoping to get back into that kind of every 2-week groove. So I hope your knitting has been fabulous. I hope you had a great last couple of months, and I will talk to you soon.
Humongous crocodiles and cats.
Try to give them as much of their natural food as we can get. We also do stuff like we like meatball and some of their fruit that they'll be finding and naturally really want to flower. We use quail eggs because we can't create all day. We'll hide them like this is kind of a burst. We spread bugs in our bottom so they fall over the normal monkey's wood. The Try to give them everything.
Back on the nature trail, inspired by Bling. As you see, he's wet on her butt. But she's very different than all other little babies. She's cute. She's lovable. And she's fearless. And she smiles.